everyone, welcome to our podcast, This Is My Story, where we talk about the weird reality of RAD. If you're one of our loyal listeners, welcome back. If you're new to our podcast, be sure to check out our channel and listen to our welcome info episodes, which are episodes 1 and 2. And that way you can get properly introduced to what reactive attachment disorder is and learn about the therapeutic parenting techniques that we talk about here on our channel. So either way, it's great to have you join us here today. If you haven't already, make sure you're subscribed to our channel and you've turned on notifications so you can get our episodes straight to your inbox on Tuesday mornings. And also check out our other social media if you haven't. We have a Facebook page as well as an Instagram account, and links for those will be down below in the description. This podcast is interviews with parents, kids, and professionals who come on here to share their stories with us about a wide range of experiences, anything from their craziest happenings to their journeys of healing. Today is Tuesday, July 7th, and we're doing the second part of our interview with Nicci. The first part of her interview aired 2 weeks ago. Last week we had some glitches with our technology, so we're back this week with the second part about therapeutic tutoring, and she talks about the behaviors that she sees and how she deals with them in a classroom type setting and in a teacher-student relationship. So we're really excited to have the second part finally up and here for you to listen to, so let's get into it. So switching to behaviors, because as I mentioned earlier, our kids do a lot of crazy things for multiple reasons. Mm-hmm. So what are some behavior interventions that you use, and when do you use them, or what do you use them for? What kind of what kind of behaviors?
Yeah. So some of it is just creative things that I have to come up with, because these kids throw you bullets, like behavior bullets that you can't even come up with on your own. And so you kind of just have to go moment by moment sometimes. So sometimes it's just as quick as, doing one of the, like a strong sit or something like that. But sometimes it's like, this kid has made crazy noises for 8 hours a day, and you might have to tell them, hey, you're vitamin D deficient. I think you need to go recharge in the sun. And you just get them out of that environment, give them a brain break. And then other times, it's dealing with why are they making that behavior? Are they completely stressed out because they can't figure out this math problem and it's manifesting in another way? Are they not able to ask those questions, like they're not finding those words, or they don't want the help? And so finding unique ways to be able to get them to ask for help without saying, oh, do you need help? Might say, how you doing over there? Or looks like you're struggling. I took 5th grade math before. If you ever have a question, I'm here.
Yeah,
or things like that, or man, I graduated. Or
yeah. And
sometimes it is just finding those creative ways, and then sometimes it is just going through the the other I'm lost for the word.
Things.
Yeah.
Things covers a multitude of words.
Yes, right.
I knew what you meant.
Yes.
And then I want to talk about brain-based practices. So the kids that you work with who have reactive attachment disorder, it's a brain-based disorder. Yes. So their brain doesn't function like a healthy child, and they're missing things like logic and reasoning and being able to understand facts and dates and time and counting and all of these skills that you have to do schoolwork. So what are some brain-based practices that you use to help with that?
Yes. Everything has to be routined. I can't stress that enough. I tried it oh, I'll just, wing it, and, you know, they'll just have to guess when everything is, because I need to be in control. Well, no, I need to be in control, but they need routine. They need to know when something's happening, just something that they can count on. And I found that helped. A little thing, just like when lunchtime is. This is when lunchtime is. And if it's not going to be that time, then have an established routine in the morning to go over what's going to happen for the day. And that has helped so much. They know what order their subjects are in. They know what to expect. I have things color coordinated, so there's no guesswork for the child. And then there is a lot of things like doing jumping jacks or those brain breaks, just to give, that moment of, okay, I need to breathe. I need to take a second, and then I can try this math problem again, or I can try to diagram this sentence again. Sometimes it's just as simple as that. But I would say routine is the biggest factor in channeling into the right direction, channeling these kids in the right direction.
Yeah, definitely. I think they feel a lot safer and a lot less anxiety when they know what's happening. It's a predictable environment.
Exactly.
Then kind of switching out of the classroom setting in a way, what is the most helpful thing that parents have done to support you as the tutor?
Mm-hmm. Hands down, the trust that they place into me. I'm not looking over my shoulder every 5 seconds, like, oh, am I doing the right thing? Or, what would the parent be doing? Or, oh, I've got to check in with the parent. The most helpful thing is just having that unconditional trust. Here's my kid. I know you know how to do your job. If you have a question, you can come to me, but I trust you. And that's so helpful.
Yeah, that's great. And then on the flip side of that, how do you support the parents while you're the kid's tutor?
I try not to burden them with my job. And I know that sounds crazy. Like, oh, shouldn't the parent be aware of what progress the kid is making? And shouldn't they know if they have homework and this or that? But no, they don't. They pay me money to come and to teach their kid and to get the work done. And I only tell them what they need to know. And it works out great. They're not stressed out if the child's failing or passing, on a daily or weekly basis. Of course, we get together, at the end of each quarter or whatnot. But yeah, just making sure I'm all in and I'm doing my job properly.
Yeah, perfect. So you mentioned homework, and I want to talk about that. How do you deal with uncompleted homework or assignments? Either, it's half done or done really, really sloppily or not done at all. What's something you do to deal with that? And what is the child's role in homework?
It's 100% on them. Sometimes there's opportunity at the end of the day where I still have time there where they can just work on it then. And I allow that because it's their school time, it gives them time to be with the family in the evening if they can get it done before they have to go back home.
Right.
However, if it's not completed or it's not A+, I make them redo it or complete it the next morning, and it cuts into their school time. And that has been very motivating so far. Like, oh man, you mean I've got to spend, 15 minutes that I could be doing, history class or whatever. And that has been motivating, especially with children that can tell time,
Yeah.
And once they start getting motivated, it is very, very, it propels them forward. Like, oh, I want to get my work done so that way I can get tomorrow's work done. But yeah, there's a day in the week where the child does the school on their own. Like, I lesson plan it. It's all laid out, and just building that responsibility one day a week. And if it's not done, the child gets to do it again the next day. And they learn very quickly. It's easier just to do it on their own or do it right the first time.
Yeah. Yeah, that's showing some motivation there.
Yeah.
You mentioned being respectful, responsible, fun to be around.
Mm-hmm.
And just explain or tell us how you do that in the classroom. What are the definitions of those that you look for in a classroom setting?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So for being respectful, I require that they say, "Excuse me, Miss Nicci," before they talk, and that they don't just ramble on and on and on and on with nonsense stuff. We're here for school. When you get healthy and strong, you can go to school with friends where you get to talk to and, you get to interact with. I'm not your friend. I expect you to be respectful and no, yelling or, ripping up your paper or whatnot, treat things the way that, you'd want your things to be treated. Responsible. This one I really heavily enforce. I mean, I enforce all of them, but this one is a very, very big focus as we are trying to get them motivated to do things on their own. And the child is responsible for packing up each evening, after school, and unpacking in the morning and making sure that they have everything they need. Bummer, you don't have a pencil for the day. What are you going to do about that? Are you going to sit there all day, or are you going to make sure that you have it each day? Those kinds of things. I don't carry extra stuff for my students. They have to bring what they need to class each day. That would be part of being responsible. And then also just getting those assignments done. And then fun to be around. Like, I would work on, the rages or being kind, or just even how the children speak about their siblings. That's something that we work on, things like that.
Yeah, I think that's a great explanation.
Mm-hmm.
So one last question before we end here is, what should all therapeutic teachers or tutors or anybody involved with kids in school, and even parents of the kids, what's something that you would want them to know?
I want them to know that it's a slow process. Don't expect cheetah pace when, the kids are dealing with so much. Any little progress is progress, if that makes sense. And each little victory is still a victory, and we need to let them know. I do believe that the children need to know when they have made strong choices, or they have worked hard consistently for even just a week's time. I do believe that that's very important, to recognize the progress where it is, instead of just being down, oh man, this kid is failing and they're just going to fail the rest of the year. Well, you know what? They may end up at the end of the year failing, but if you look at the last quarter and you've seen all of this progress, that is still progress.
Yeah. And then kind of with that is, a lot of our kids are so far below their actual grade level. What are some things you do to deal with that, or what you tell parents, about worrying or not worrying about their kid being a year or several years behind?
That's hard, because any parent is going to want their kid to be on grade level. I mean, and it's a hard conversation when you have to talk to a parent, your kid's going to need to repeat this grade, or my suggestion is this or that. And it does take them a little bit to wrap their mind around it. But I would and do suggest, if the child doesn't pass, then to keep them in the grade lower until they're able to achieve, even halfway. When you see that progress being made, then move them on. But not until they've done 100% of the work.
Yeah, that's great.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, that is all the time we had today. So thank you very much for joining us. It was a great conversation. I think a lot of parents and teachers are going to find this useful when they wonder, you know, the practical parts of how do you tutor a kid who can't be in a regular classroom, who has to have therapeutic interventions.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
All right, so that is the end of the second part of our interview with Nicci. If you missed the first part, head to our channel and listen to episode 17, titled Therapeutic Tutoring. Thank you for joining us here today on this episode. Check out the description for more information on the podcast and the Radish Ranch. Make sure you're subscribed to our channel, you've turned on notifications, and check out the description below for our other social media links that you can follow us on. The songs on this podcast are The Way Things Go and Come Down, both written and recorded by French Press and used here with their permission. This Is My Story is brought to you by the Radish Ranch. I'm your host, Karen Poitras, and I will see you next week. Stay awesome!